Good morning, everybody, and thank you for taking the time to join us today during this very special time in our country, our economy, and our world. This is Lorenzo Marquez, and I wanted to start this webinar or have this webinar in order to support other businesses that may be looking for answers or maybe looking for ideas as to how they can better manage the ongoing crisis that we're living through. And hopefully this will not happen again, but hopefully you'll be able to utilize some of this information for the future in any given circumstance that your business may be going through or anything else that life brings to us. So with that said, I'd like to welcome everybody that's here. We have a pretty wide range of industries with us today. So we will not very specifically talk about certain industries. We will try to keep things very general. But our team and myself is available to support you guys with any other questions you may have in the future. Again, my name is Lorenzo Marquez. I am the president of Marquette Group. We are a full-service marketing agency in Houston, and we service a lot of different industries, very much focused in the construction, design, and remodeling, home building sector of the business. But we do have experience working in a lot of different other industries as well. My experience has been building international brands, over 15 years doing that, and our team is very well skill set to help support other businesses as well. I am also an industry advocate, serving as chairman of the National Kitchen and Bath Association for 2 years, and still part of the NKBA board. So with that said, we do have experience working with a lot of different audiences. Manufacturers, distributors, remodelers, fabricators, contractors, and home centers, retail stores. And so our experience is B2B as well as B2C. And with that said, I'd like to start talking about our topic today. We all obviously know the situation today, and we all are very much concerned as to what is happening in our economy and also what is happening in our world. As business owners and as management and as leaders of your organization, we understand that you are concerned with health issues that are taking place. I am very certain that everybody's concerned about their well-being and their family as well as their employees. Everybody's concerned about their expenses, especially these days. And most importantly, you are very concerned about your own individual business. And as business leaders, our responsibility is to take care of all the different things that you see on the screen, but most importantly, make sure that our business is operating effectively and efficiently, and that we are prepared for when things come back around. So our job as leaders is to lead our team. Our job as leaders is to show that we are looking at different things and that we're looking at moving the business forward. And so when it comes to crisis, a lot of people tend to sort of sit back and pull back on some of the activities they're doing. But I want you guys to think about of the last time that you were able to ask an employee to do less than they were expected to do. And with that said, your job and your responsibility is to continue leading the team that you have, as well as driving your business forward for when business does come back around. I certainly understand that a lot of people have different things to look at, inclusive of the current situation and their safety. And today I want to share some insights with you guys through this very short webinar on things you can focus on, things you can consider, things that could potentially be working, and then obviously focus on the end goal, which is what will come after business does turn back around. So let's first address something before we begin. The situation that we're in today is not a supply chain issue. Supply chain will be affected in certain areas, but the situation that we have today is not a supply chain issue. It is a threat, and it's also a customer and consumer confidence issue that you will be seeing in your business. So your job as a leader, your job as a marketer should be to give consumers and your customers sort of a good feel nest where they can come into your business and continue considering you for the projects or for the products or for the purchase they need to make. I say that this is not a supply chain issue because your competitors are still out there and they're more than likely not pulling back on any of their existing efforts. What does this mean to you as a business leader? What does that mean to you as an owner? Well, let's just think about the situation where you are today. And if you start looking into the sort of the supply chain, you're trying to figure things out, as most of us are. You're concerned with receiving money or payments and concerned with cash. You're concerned about what's going to happen after this crisis goes away, and really what's going to happen to your sales pipeline, to your employees, and to your customers. This creates a lot of confusion, which is not something that's really good to deal with in the current times. And you're also trying to remain focused and also remain productive. So we want to make sure that you also understand and see things from the perspective of the customer, and that you also understand what your customer is going through. Customers are trying to figure things out themselves. They're exposed to a lot of media and a lot of different messaging that is coming through, and they're also concerned with their safety. So you have to think about the way your customer is looking at the situation, as well as the way you're looking at the situation yourself. So your customer is also concerned with having to stay at home, trying to figure out their current employment situation, as well as the safety of their family. But there's also something that's really going on with your customer, and that is they're probably going to go through cabin fever very quickly and very soon. So you have to think about ways to make a connection with the customers, because they will very likely start looking for a distraction very, very soon. And that's the one thing, if you get something out of this webinar, I want you to think about that. Customers will be looking for a distraction very soon. And when they look for that distraction, you want to make sure that you are providing them with that information or that knowledge for that distraction. If you were to look at the environment today, and if you were to turn on the news today, this is everything your customer is seeing. They're seeing ongoing news, they're seeing ongoing development, they're seeing ongoing crisis. They are faced with a lot of bad news most of the time. So some people are also going to be experiencing, seeing a lot of different bad news and a lot of different things that are ongoing in the market. So it's really important that you guys continue making sure that you are aware of the situation, but you are changing the message and the story for your customers. During a time of crisis, it is not the time for self-promotion. During a time of crisis, it is the time to have empathy for your customers and to create a connection with your customers that makes them understand that you know exactly what they're going through. During a time of crisis is not the time to go out and do a 10% promotion on your social media, or to be highly communicating this through your different advertising or promotional channels. During a time of crisis, you must focus on creating effective, non-desperate, and non-intrusive marketing messages. Anything that you see on the screen, which is 10% off, 25% off, 10% off, enjoy this, enjoy that, is more than anything a desperate move for people to try to keep business afloat. But this becomes very intrusive when it comes to your own customer base. So the best that you can do as it pertains to marketing is to create empathy with your clients. Look for ways that your clients feel special when they come to you, or give them a distraction. As a leader of your business, some of the things that you can do to ensure that you're creating this connection with your clients is to ensure that you're giving them the right message by adjusting your marketing strategy. And we're all sitting here, and obviously some people are working from home, some people are still going into the office, and some people are constantly watching the news. I'm kind of paying attention to everything that's going on in the market, and I specifically recall a magazine that's potentially will lose some advertising dollars because of customers or because of advertisers pulling back. And then suddenly I'm thinking about this concept of crisis management, and I see that this magazine is now promoting something that's very special that creates a connection with the audience. So House Beautiful is promoting the fact that customers are putting up their Christmas lights to show good spirits amid the coronavirus situation. So this is a way by which they realize that this is not the time to promote beautiful home decor, but this is the time to promote good feel for their audience. And I can guarantee you that a lot of people read that article much more than they would have anything else that is doing a hard sell. As I'm watching the news as well and constantly have it on the background, I also realize that newscasts are essentially getting some good and bad feels from what's happening and the way they're reporting. It was really interesting to me that a particular channel or station in Houston is using one of their anchors to do story time for kids that are sitting at home. So they figure out a way to drive more traffic to their Facebook platform by creating live reads or story times with one of their anchors from 9:30 in the morning every day, which is helping parents take a little break. And it's also driving audience not to their news channel on TV, but rather to their Facebook profile. So ways that you can actually increase your reach is by changing the story and by also looking for different ways to interact with your audiences. So let's start about processes and ways by which you can adjust your marketing strategy. Things that work during the crisis, and we're going to go into detail for each one of these, is change your message. Go back to the basics. Focus on internal marketing and embrace your team and bring to life anything that you might have put on the back burner because of time or because of resources. Look for a connection to build with your clients. Develop a crisis management plan. Focus on digital marketing and continue to lead. So let's take the first one. Changing your marketing message is about making sure that you are creating a connection with your audience. Stay away from promotional offers. They come as intrusive and very insensitive. Go back to your value proposition. Some companies may not even have a value proposition. Start putting together your value proposition so you can actually go out and tell your audience what your company is all about and how you can actually relate to the product. A lot of times as marketers and as business management leaders, we all overestimate our audience and we think that our audience knows everything about our business. We live it every day. If you are in the countertop world, we already expect that customers know what the process of getting a new countertop is, how to measure our countertops, what different materials, because we live it every day. So my recommendation would be go back to the basics. Start creating content for your website and your social media platform that allows consumers that are sitting at home bored, that are looking at an ugly kitchen and thinking about, hey, what would it take for me to redo my kitchen? Give them that information. If you are a designer, remodeler, go back and talk about the steps of doing a kitchen remodel or a full-on remodel. Make sure your customer gets that information that they will be looking for eventually online. We've had one of our clients had a blog post on how to clean quartz countertops, and that's led to a 900% growth just in 1 week because people are looking for that information online. So make sure that you're providing people with content that is relevant to their current situation to create empathy and to create a relationship. This is not the time to hard sell on price point. This is the time to sell on emotion. Make sure you're training and educating your customers for the future. If you have issues in your pipeline today when it comes to your process, because customers may not necessarily know how to go about the business, make sure that they understand that when they come visit you, they have to have very specific information. Or if you are in the construction industry, inform your customers of what the process is to begin a new home, a new construction. Talk about mortgage, talk about different things that would essentially help your audience in getting to close business with you as soon as the economy turns back around. So This is a time to market with a purpose and to focus on resourceful marketing. This is your opportunity to be a thought leader in the eyes of your customer. Second point is focus on internal marketing. Please maintain a very open door with your employees. This is a time where they need your leadership. Train them, educate them, learn from your employees, learn what their business is about, learn how they're doing their jobs. Use this time to understand them well as make them understand what your goals as a leader are, so that when business comes back around, you have the opportunity to have a more qualified sales team that will help you close more business because you've taken the time to educate them and train them. So while you might be thinking that marketing is just putting up billboards or putting up websites, marketing encompasses also internal marketing. Make sure you're taking time to understand your employees' goals and help them get the job done in the future. Next one is build a connection with your audience. During vulnerable times, it is very important to continue engaging internally and externally. Make sure that you're providing your audiences with inspiration, with things that they're looking for. Everybody will need a distraction. Anything you can provide that is educational, anything that you can provide that gives a good feeling towards your content will be extremely beneficial. Try to showcase your work through non-endemic ways. Build a relationship with your network and leverage message opportunities. If you have certain products available in your stores, in your showrooms, in your business, in your supply chain, reach out to your customer or to your suppliers and ask them for support. Ask them for content. See what they have available. Nothing wrong with talking about how a countertop stays clean because it's non-porous, and then feature one of your suppliers. Or talk about the supply chain. If you're in the petrochemical industry, talk about the work that people are doing to help facilitate the delivery of products to create hand sanitizers. Change the story, change the way you're going to business. Again, this is not a hard sell. This is your opportunity to interact and to build a connection with your audience. Make sure that you have, the next one is make sure that you have a crisis management plan that includes an internal announcement for your employees, procedures to follow within your showroom, your office, your factory, a customer communication plan, which would be to your existing customers, to any new leads, to any customers that are in the pipeline. Make sure that you have a very well documented process. Your crisis management plan should also have a web and social media message that is readily available to use and that can be changed very, very rapidly if needed. And please also consider providing or having a press release on how your company is surpassing the given crisis. It's probably not the best, as I said today, for coronavirus, for your company to issue a statement on coronavirus, but it is important to note that these rules would apply to any given company with any given crisis that comes about. Something that's also very important, appoint someone that can also support you in times of crisis management. God forbid something happens to you. Somebody needs to continue carrying that flag. Somebody needs to be able to reach out to customers and continue your message. Somebody needs to be able to have all the tools available to help your business respond. Stay focused on the business, delegate, and continue coaching. I know that in crisis, a lot of us want to do everything but can't do anything at all. So make sure that you are delegating and that people are being more productive, because if you stay vigilant, you will be able to continue to lead. The next one is focus on digital marketing, and I think this is probably the most important at this time, is to continue communicating with your audience, letting them know you're here, letting them know you're out there, but making sure that you're not showing panic or creating additional tension. Everybody will start looking for a good feel. Give them that good feel. Make sure that your website is mobile friendly. People will be hiding in the bathroom trying to get distracted. They'll be in the garage trying to watch YouTube videos or whatnot. Create content. That is exactly what you need to do. If you have the ability to film yourself, talking about your process or procedures, go ahead and do that. This is the time. because customers will still be out there and they'll still be looking for information regardless of what is going on outside. Make sure your website is mobile friendly and also optimized to support for any online searches. Make it very easy for your customers to contact you through your website. This is the time to start looking into your Google My Business, making sure your profile is well set, making sure that your telephone number is there. Provide a lot of information, blogs, and as much content as you can. And one thing that is very, very important, make sure your website is on a secured server that is fast and reliable. After 3 seconds, if websites don't load, customers bounce off. So make sure that your website is very secure and also that is on a fast server. Utilize newsletters to communicate with your clients often and let them know that you are around. Any content that you provide or that you create for your social media channels or your website should also be shared on newsletters, because again, people will be looking for a distraction. Advertising costs on pay-per-clicks will more than likely drop because people will be pulling their advertising dollars away in lieu of what's going on. This is the time for you to capitalize and for you to gain speed. When other people are pulling back is when you need to start pushing forward. So develop a lot of content, make sure that you have social media presence, make sure that your website is ready where it needs to go, and also continue communicating to your clients through newsletters. During a time of crisis, this is the time to lead as your competitors are losing steam. Make sure that you're continuing to provide as a marketing tool a very strong leadership, confidence position to your employees. They need to see you strong. Make sure you repurpose and refocus if it's needed, but it's not the time to slow down. Even if you're forced to be at home, this is a time for you to be in front of your employees through FaceTime, through web conference, by phone, whichever way, but make sure you're creating a connection with them, as they will also go out and create a connection with their clients. Things will turn back around, and you have to use this time to build a connection so that when people are ready to purchase, they give you that credit card or that deal directly. One thing that is very important, and I see that people should focus on, is to remember that this is not a supply chain issue. This is an issue that has to do with a virus. So you have to be able to optimize your efforts. And if you want to hear one of my favorite quotes, is nothing sets work efficiently like panic mode. So every time we get in panic mode, we work more efficiently. So we are having to create efficiencies to be able to develop going forward. I know that a lot of you have probably been receiving communication related to the virus from airlines, from from restaurants, from banks and whatnot. Please make sure that you are sending out communication to your companies or to your clients about how our company is addressing the situation. This is your port of entry in this crisis mode. First thing is, let them know you are aware of it. Yes, you're probably getting tired of everybody doing the same thing, but everybody wants you to know that they're there and they're protecting their employees as well as your safety. So please create a communication plan around Corona, send it out to your customers, put it up on your websites, but I would not necessarily recommend taking a thought leadership authority in your statements, but rather use it as an entry port that will then allow you to be a thought leader in your area of expertise. Before we close, I just want you guys to remember that your duty in your business is to lead your team. So your business needs your leadership. So stay very vigilant. Please take time to yourselves. Make sure that you are reviewing your business strategies. You're creating native content. Reach out to your customers. A lot of times we all get busy with a day today that we don't have time to talk to our best customers, so reach out to them. Learn new things. Prepare communications, letters, announcements, and promotions for the future. nothing says you can't start promoting or creating your summer, fall, and holiday promotional calendar or communications. Use this time wisely. This is time that has been given to you to step back and prepare. Things will bounce back, and you need to make sure that you are ready and healthy for when things do get back. So with that said, I'd like to see if anybody has any questions that we can address or any further topics of conversation.
I have a question.
Sure.
This is Michelle. I'm talking. I've read on a lot of just social media posts that a lot of designers and companies are just being, kind of overwhelmed with the amount of marketing emails that are coming through. Like, we're still up and running, we're still doing this. And a lot of them are upset that it's flooding and overwhelming their inboxes, and they're just hitting unsubscribe to this. So as your note says that we should still be doing this, I mean, is that really something that, we still want to be doing as far as, right now in this immediate time, or do we want to hold off and let people breathe? Just because I feel like people are kind of being just kind of overwhelmed by it all and just kind of annoyed.
I agree with you 100%. And I think that the people that are unsubscribing meant to unsubscribe, they just didn't have the time in the past and they just deleted the email. So you're going to lose an audience regardless of your efforts if they're not interested in hearing about your product or your company. I think that if you wait and do it in the future, it's going to become a situation where you're either reminding someone of something that's not pleasant or a bad time in their life, or you're going to look like you were too late in the game. So my recommendation would be let them know that you are aware and that you're doing this, and give them a tool for distraction. So if you say, hey, this is the measure that we're doing. If we're going into a consultation, we're washing our hands before going in, this or that. And by the way, we want to share some beautiful inspirational stories with you that relate to, home decor. So maybe start your subject title line with something that's non-corona related, and include your corona messaging within your communication.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You broke up a little bit before. You had mentioned Google Ads. Can you repeat what you said there? And what do you think are best practices at this point?
So I believe that the cost per click is going to significantly drop as people pull back on their keyword advertising. And so you will eventually start seeing some of those ads pull back a little bit. I would watch and see what's happening with the specific keywords that you're paying for. And if it starts dropping, it's almost like, stock. That's where you would want to come in and start buying it. But before you do Google Ads, make sure that you have a very well integrated website. And I would recommend shifting from Google Ads more to your SEO strategy. Because people will not be looking for paid promotion, they'll be looking more for paid content. Anybody else? All right, guys. Well, thank you for taking the time to be with us today. We are here to support you in any way that we can. So if you need help with strategy, web design, social media, anything else, by all means, let us know. We will be sending out a recap by email newsletter, and also have a page available on our site where you will be able to see more information. And this call has been recorded, and so it would also be available through our YouTube channel. So everybody stay healthy. Thanks for being with us today, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.
Thank you.